And then he starts getting all of these calls and texts from work. That's suspicious. So I'm like, if you have to step outside and call him back, it's cool, I get it, I'm chill, I'll hang here. So he does. And then I ordered another drink, as one does. And the waitress is like, oh, I'm so sorry, like your date already paid while you were in the bathroom. Like, that's nice, but what?
Yeah, so he dipped on you. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And guys, I hope you've all been doing well. It has been a little while since my last recording. Don't worry, we haven't been banned. We haven't left the platform. If I don't post an announcement, guys, it just means that I have some in real life things to be doing outside of recording videos. But we are back and we are going to be covering some more shenanigans. So on today's episode, guys, we are going to, of course, be talking about why it is that men are not interested in dating. You have all of these viral TikTok accounts talking about the advice that men should take, what men should do. And to be honest, guys, I am sick of hearing what men should do for these women. But without further ado, let's jump in. Let's take a listen. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hidan from Peace of Mind and Detective War. Guys, they're putting out a lot of content for you to enjoy while I'm not here. So make sure that you go and show them some love. Their links are in the description. But let's take a listen to this first woman here.
I always see men in my comments saying that no one cares about their feelings. But when we tell you that we do, you tell us that we're trying to make you feminine. And it's not that no one cares about your feelings. It's that you can't expect someone to discuss them if you're not even willing to share what they are.
You guys know, and of course a lot of us do know, why it is that men don't share their feelings with you. Like, girls act as though this is like this super perplexing thing and that it's toxic masculinity. The reason why a lot of men don't quote unquote open up to you, the reason why men are not showing their feelings, the reason why men are not openly committing to you anymore is because a lot of girls, not all of them, but a lot of women have proven that they weaponize these things. I have seen dudes get out of marriages, get out of long-term relationships, and all of their private lives are just aired out in front of everybody on Instagram and TikTok. Like, how many times have I covered a TikTok from a woman where she's openly discussing how the man feels, like private information? This is one of the reasons why men just don't open up to you. Okay, because you all get on TikTok and you post about the man's emotions. Okay, you share it with all your friends. You treat his emotions like garbage. So, like, you can't really complain when men don't open up to you anymore.
You say that men's mental health isn't being prioritized, but you also say that prioritizing your mental health isn't manly. So is it women that are...
I don't know anybody who's ever said that. I literally don't. They say that all our content creators, guys, they say that people like me, people over this side of the internet, oh, we don't care about men's mental health. Of course we do. That's the stupidest thing ever. Like, we're saying that, yes, men have emotions, but there's a healthy way to direct them. Right? Nobody's undervaluing, at least on this side of the internet, the importance of men's mental health. Like, we talk about this all the time. This is why we talk about avoiding crazy women, because nothing screws up a man's mental health more than dealing with crazy women, excuse me.
are preventing you from being understood, or is it the same toxic masculinity that hurts us both? Because toxic masculinity is what tells you that emotional awareness is feminine. It also tells you to reject anything that even resembles femininity. So you're claiming to be the victim of something that you are desperately trying to uphold. But you can reject the toxic idea of what it means to be a man and still be masculine.
I love how this woman just, like, whenever she makes videos, she just makes 50,000 assumptions. You know, nobody, guys, these dudes who they're talking about who are quote-unquote toxically masculine, like people who have quote-unquote toxic masculinity, these people care more about men's mental health than these girls do by a considerable mile. Like, these women will label me someone who has toxic masculinity as if I don't care about men's mental health. Like, what an absolutely ridiculous take to have.
So we're not asking you to be feminine. We're asking you to be emotionally intelligent men. And not just for us, but for yourselves.
Yeah, guys, just be emotionally intelligent. I see this all the time, where women will talk down to men and say that we're emotionally unintelligent. Do you ever consider the fact that, one, maybe men aren't incentivized to open up their emotions to you at all, and number two, that men and women process emotions in different ways? Like, it never seems to cross their mind. It's like, if you don't think like a lot of these womanists do, if you don't come out here and you cry about your feelings all over social media, then you don't have emotional intelligence. The guys who do this crap, by the way, the guys that listen to this and go out and show all their emotions and cry, like, there's nothing wrong with crying, okay, guys? There's nothing wrong with being upset. But dudes who are like overly emotional and who go out here and take their emotions out on other people, it will only end badly for the man in question and for the people around him. Don't be using women as therapists, guys. Talk to your boys. It's okay to have emotions. And don't listen to these clowns who say that it's toxically masculine to control and to understand your emotions. Just absolutely ridiculous. But let's continue into the next clip here, guys, because, again, we have some funny ones here of women getting rejected. So let's take a look at this next one here.
I'm so embarrassed. So tonight I went on a date with this guy. We went to sushi. We were there for over 3 hours. We were having a great time.
So let's pause it right there. Okay, and I think I've covered this video before, quite possibly, but maybe it became viral again. So let's talk about this, guys. And this is something that's really important to understand. Let's just analyze the video as it is, okay? This woman, probably like late 20s, I'd guess over 30s, right? So she's over 30, and she's still dating. So the question is, first of all, what the hell are you doing? Right? If you wanted a husband, if you wanted a long-term partner, you would already have him. So that's the first red flag. The second flag, I think she used the word talking in there. Any girl who uses their defines their relationships by talking or not talking, ridiculous. I'm pretty sure she said that, but don't quote me on it. Thirdly, who the hell, like, if you're a dude, okay, and this is the main gripe I have with this, man. If you're a dude, you should have better things to do than to go on a sushi date for 3 hours. Guys, I'll put it to you this way. I don't like sushi. But even if I did like the food, spending 3 hours of my time is just out of the question. You see what I'm saying? Like, and this is the thing where a lot of dudes get confused, right? Because men have been taught, oh, if you want a woman to like you, you need to put in a ridiculous amount of time. You need to show her that you care, that you're affectionate. You need to do all this crap for her. But what a lot of people won't ever teach you guys is that a woman liking you is something that functions independently of whether or not she's attracted to you. A girl can hate a guy. I'll put it to you this way, guys. If I was trying to date a woman, okay, and I had the choice between two women, I had one that hated my guts and thought that I was awful, and I had another one whose opinion of me was, oh yeah, he's okay. I met him once. He seems all right. I would choose the girl that hates me every time. Because hate, guys, is something that functions independently of attraction. Like whether or not a girl likes you. Like these girls will say, "Oh, I don't like him," but 20 minutes later they're in his bed, right? Make that make sense to me.
And then he starts getting all of these calls and texts from work. That's suspicious. So I'm like, if you have to step outside and call him back, it's cool. I get it. I'm chill. I'll hang here. So he does. And then I ordered another drink, as one does. And the waitress is like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, your date already paid while you were in the bathroom. Like, that's nice, but what?
Yeah, so he dipped on you, right? He dipped on you. And this is the part where a lot of women, like, they'll go talk to their friends afterwards, and their friends will say, oh, he was probably just intimidated by you, or he's just like an insecure dude or whatever. But guys, like, in these stories, it's actually so hard to distinguish what the truth is, right? Because if we sat down and we talked to the man, I guarantee you he would have a different version of the story. Like hers is like, oh yeah, I went on a long date. It seemed to be going okay. And then the man just ditched me out of nowhere. I never believe this stuff until I hear both sides of the story. Because oftentimes when you hear one person's side of the story, they'll just be making themselves into the victim. Like, oh, he just left me. I thought everything was going good. Blah, blah, blah. He was obviously talking to other women. And you know what? Maybe she's right, okay? Maybe the dude was talking to other women. He just had somewhere better to go, whatever. But it's like, you never know the truth of these situations. And oftentimes the people will just paint themselves to be the victim the entire damn time.
He never came back. Shout out to the table next to me, the bachelorette party from Dallas, for buying my drink and giving me a shot. Hey, y'all the real ones, as well as my bestie for coming to pick me up and taking me to the McDonald's drive-thru.
Like, for all we know, by the way, the dude left because he found her annoying or because she was flirting with the people at the next table. Like, she mentions, like, other people buying her a drink after. So, like, I don't really understand. Like, and are you going to a sushi place where they serve you drinks? Like, you see how none of this really makes sense? right? None of it really clicks together. And we're going to be covering a Reddit story later on today's episode, guys, where if things like, if you're with a woman, guys, okay, if you're a man who's choosing there to go out there and start dating, what you'll notice is that a lot of times the stories that you hear, it doesn't quite logically add up. Okay, and when things don't logically add up, guys, I would encourage you to just leave, because you're going to be torturing yourself trying to figure out what the hell is actually the truth, and chances are you'll never get the truth anyway.
If this is what dating is, like, I do not want it. No.
Yeah, she says that she doesn't want dating, guys, but, you know, she's still 30 years of age and she hasn't found her long-term boyfriend. Like, it's always funny to me when girls will say, I don't want to date. I want a boyfriend. I want a husband. As if there aren't thousands upon thousands of men who would happily fill that role for you. If you guys have ever, and I've made this point numerous times, but if you guys have ever seen a woman's Tinder profile and the amount of matches, like, I kid you not, guys, the other day, I saw a woman's Tinder profile, and I was traveling, right, to quite a small place, I'll be honest, and she had a fresh, like a pretty new Tinder account, and she had over 1,400 likes on it, like as in 1,400 people trying to get with her in a small area, right? So these people who say like, oh, I don't want to date, it's like, okay, get your husband then. You know, get your long-term relationship. You can't be 30 plus making claims like that, because dudes are just sick. They're not interested in dating you anymore. You know, and the guys who are interested in dating you, by the way, a lot of them will just be lacking self-respect, because let's be honest, guys, a lot of this behavior that we've seen is just straight up crazy. Now let's jump into the next clip here before we jump into today's Reddit stories.
My toxic trait is that whenever my mom tries to get me to date someone from my hometown and she starts describing them as like, they're nice and they come from a good family and they're super sweet, and I'm like, next, boring.
Yeah, so guys who are sweet, guys who are kind, guys who are caring, guys who come from good families, who perhaps have traditional values and who would treat you well and get married and give you that pathway to the white picket fence and 2 children and a dog, those guys are boring. And this is why, okay, gentlemen, when we see all these like street interviews of like girls complaining that they can't find a man, they can't find a relationship, or guys come out and they say, I'm not interested in dating, I totally understand. You know, like, it's so hard to logic. Here's the thing, okay, guys. I wish I could logically disagree with the idea that a lot of men are not interested in dating. You know, like, wouldn't it be great, guys, if we could sit around and go, you know what, you should date, guys, because out here in the West, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But the answer is not really. I saw a post the other day floating around on YouTube. I can't remember where the hell I saw it, but it was like, do you guys think that perhaps there's more marriageable women in the West than we are led to believe? I'm like, why on earth are you getting married in the West in the first place? Like, what on earth are you thinking, man? Do you want to lose all of your things? Like, I sincerely do not understand it. But guys, let's jump into today's Reddit story here, and hopefully this is the one that I remember pulling up. Yes, it is. So this ties nicely into what we're talking about today, guys. And again, this is the kind of crap that just really nails home the point of why men are not interested in dating, okay? So this is literally from 7 hours ago, and this is in the Reddit thread, whatever it's called, relationship advice. As you can see, guys, I don't use Reddit too much. This platform is just absolutely terrible. But this guy, you can tell he lacks self-respect before, like, when we get into the story. It's really quite disgusting. So basically, he has a cheating fiance who's cheating over Instagram. Now, guys, I just want to say this, okay? I saw a video about me the other day, right? And it was saying like, oh, Taylor said that women shouldn't have Instagram. Like, how toxic is that? Guys, I have always been of the belief that social media, if you Instagram, Tinder, Bumble, Snapchat's a big one actually, but like all of these social media applications, they are not good for relationships between men and women. They are straight up awful. They give people access to so many opportunities, specifically women, right? So when women have these things, let's not pretend as though they don't have tons of dudes in their DMs trying to get with them, you know, and that these opportunities are she's just going to ignore them all the time, right? So let's jump into this. Cheating fiance over Instagram DMs. I'm not sure what to even say. I don't frequent Reddit besides for stock information. On my birthday, my fiance, who is 24 years of age, of 2 years, sat me down, who is 23 years old, and told me a guy on Instagram sent her inappropriate DMs and she blocked him. okay, fine. It was the end of it. No big deal, right? Except the next day she said, well, actually, it was a little more than that, and I want to be fully honest with you. He said those things, and I told him it made me the H word, and then I blocked him. I think the word that's used to describe this, by the way, is like trickle truthing. I think that's the word I've seen floating around for things like this. But guys, this is what I'm talking about, okay? When things change over time, when you notice that someone tells you something and the truth just happens to shift or details become revealed, a lot of the times people will only reveal details to you when they are forced to. Right? So they're not lying, they're telling the truth, they swear, and then you find out that something's a little bit off. Right? And then they're like, oh yeah, but blah, blah, blah. And they'll come up with some excuse and they'll only give you the amount of truth that's necessary. Right? I think that's called truth trickling. But anytime things don't start to logically add up, guys, you have my permission as a random animated vampire man on the internet to leave the situation, because chances are it's going to be quite terrible for you. So naturally, he puts in some question marks here, and he says, so I left our house needing time to think. I came back after driving all around, and I slept on the couch. I talked to her again, your mistake, buddy, and found out yet again she was lying more. What a surprise, guys. It's almost like when people tell lies, there's just more of them all the time. They were going back and forth flirting for over a week, talking about how she thinks of him in the shower, doing things, 3 counts of half-truths and lies, and it took me a while to pry out of her. It was longer than she let on. She said it's her medications, mental health, boredom, and she's so sorry, and she wants to seek therapy and do anything to make it better, delete social media, etc. So we get into the I'm a victim, right? So I cheated on you, but don't worry, guys, it's I'm a victim, right? Because I'm on medications, I have mental health, I get bored. Like, what kind of justification is that, by the way? Like, I'm bored. This is the thing about like dating and all these marriages and crap like that. You get into it and people think that like it's appropriate to cheat because you're bored. Like, do people not, they just don't understand duty. They don't understand discipline. When people say that relationships are hard, yeah, it might mean that you have to go through boredom, right? But people just are addicted to social media. They're addicted to emotional validation from other individuals, and they can't keep a relationship at all. Like, look at this, guys. What a reason to cheat. Boredom. Disgusting. Oh man, I hesitate to even read this part. I wouldn't care half as much if it weren't for the lying. So you mean to tell me that if she came out and she told you she cheated on you, everything would be fine and hunky-dory? Like, have some self-respect, man. I feel disrespected, and I've got a bit of toxic masculinity going on, so it's hard for me to swallow my pride and accept this. Wow. So even when men are beat down, even when men are mistreated, dudes are still out here thinking that they're the problem. This is the brainwashing that I'm talking about, man. This guy thinks that he has toxic masculinity when he's literally the victim in the situation. Right? A lot of women, not all, they'll paint themselves as the victim in the situation, even when they're cheating, and the guy thinks that he's done something bad. He thinks he has toxic masculinity. It's about an issue of his pride. Do you guys see how backwards this is? Like, let me know if I'm crazy in the comments, man, but it's straight up disgusting how things can happen that are terrible to men, right? And then the man will walk away from the situation going, oh yeah, maybe it was me and my toxic masculinity. Anyone who says this word, guys, like, it just instantly disqualifies a lot of the things that they say. It really does. Like, I cannot take people seriously who walk around saying the word toxic masculinity unironically, because what's essentially happening is they're just attacking men. That's really what this word means. It basically means I'm an advocate of attacking men and masculinity, and I don't like people like that, guys. I really don't. Blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, this all happened over Instagram. This guy doesn't even live near us. Yeah, I'd be skeptical about that one, buddy. And if she's so trusted, there wasn't any images or videos or anything else going on, just words. So is this sufficient enough to leave her? Yes, it is, my friend. The issue is we live together and have a dog together and are obviously engaged. Call off the engagement, take the dog if you can, and get out of the situation. I don't care. I don't care if you're engaged. I don't care if you're living together. Leave. Because things like this will only get worse. Too long didn't read. Beyonce cheated on me, told me half the truth, and got caught up in several lies, presumably over fear of losing me, then blamed it on manic episodes and medications. Yeah, I don't care what the reasoning is. The fact of the matter is, dude, is you got cheated on, and you should not be in this situation. And while you're on the way out, you should learn to have some self-respect. It'll serve you quite well in the long run. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's video there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hidan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. And guys, I just wanted to mention again that if I don't say that I haven't been anywhere, you know, if I don't say that I'm going anywhere, I will be back to producing videos, guys. It just typically means that I have in real life things to deal with, and I don't have the time to be recording videos. So otherwise, gentlemen, we're going to be leaving it there. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo guys, it's Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Before you go, remember to subscribe to our other Fiend Gang members. Their channels will be linked in the video description. Our newest member is Detective Warg, so make sure that you go and show him some love. He's putting out daily content for you guys. Also, one of the characters I use and also a lot of our thumbnail artwork is done by an artist called The Gecko Ninja. He's absolutely fantastic, and his socials are going to be linked in the video description as well if you want to commission him for some amazing art. Otherwise, take it easy, gents, and I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.